Discipline isn't easy, but the consequences of not having discipline isn't easy either. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sebastian, and I talk about personal growth and self development here. And today I'll be talking about discipline. So let's get into what is discipline. I think that discipline is just being consistent with the things that you say you will do, right? So if it's getting up in the morning, like at 5 a.m., and you say the night before that you will get up at 5 a.m., you have to get up at 5 a.m. because you said so. And let's say going to the gym, that is also a form of discipline if you do it every day. And, consistency is what really goes into discipline. And since these are hard habits that are not that easy to do every day, it takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of time and effort to actually be consistent and get the things done that you'll say you will get done. Discipline isn't easy either. Nobody really wants to do the things that they don't want to do, right? Like who wants to get up at 5 a.m.? But what really matters is if you stick to your word, right? If you know you need to get things done the day after, then you need to go to sleep earlier in order to actually get those things done. Now, how exactly do you build discipline? So each time you're faced with a challenge, you're put to the test to see if you'll have enough discipline to actually do it. You can't build discipline just reading books or watching videos. They're all helpful, but what really matters is if you take action. And what's really hard about discipline is you have to come through every day, right? You can't just be um, disciplined today and then do whatever tomorrow. You have to be consistent with your discipline, or else it'll just be like bursts of motivation, right? It comes and goes. But the discipline that you build helps you get things done. Every time you're put to the test, you're faced with two options: either do it or abandon it, and one will get you farther than the other. Discipline takes a lot of self control, and you also have to know what your goal is. If you don't have that direction of what you're aiming for, it's kind of hard to actually do the things you'll say you're going to do if you don't know what the end goal is, right? If your goal is to do or be more productive tomorrow, you have to wake up in the morning with that thought in mind, right? Otherwise, what are you going to get up at 5 a.m. for? Self control also goes a lot into discipline. And let's say if you want to cut back food, right? You have to have that self control in order to cut back food. So each time you're tempted with, a certain food that you want to grab, but you got to have that self control, which also comes in the form of discipline to not eat it. So what really gets in the way of discipline is procrastination and lack of persistence. When I was younger, I was mostly a procrastinator. So I wouldn't really start things, right? I would just leave it for tomorrow or say that I'll get it done um, whenever I can. But the truth is I had the opportunity to do it in that moment. Recently, I just started struggling with persistence, right? I would start something, right? I fixed the issue of procrastination, but when it came down to actually consistency and actually doing it repeatedly over and over again, that's when I had a hard time. So, procrastination and lack of persistence will just kill all of your goals. And sometimes you just have to quit complaining and do the things that you say you're going to do. And that is really the only way to actually build discipline and to get rid of those bad habits that you have. If you just start today, if you just do the things that you say you're going to do today, it'll become easier each day. So tomorrow, making your bed or waking up or going to the gym will be easier than the day before. And that's really the goal because we want to be better each day. And what happened to me was that I needed to do something and I didn't really feel like doing it, but it was on my mind the whole time. And after I got it done, I felt a huge sense of relief. So people have different ways that they build discipline. Starting out, they either start small, so they pick one thing to be consistent with rather than getting a whole bunch of stuff and trying to be consistent with these other things. And two, being creating systems. And I personally like to meal prep. And a lot of people like to lay out the clothes that they're going to wear the day before. So we also have removing temptations. If something is in front of you and you're being tempted by it, it's going to be really hard to not give in, right? So the best way is to keep it out of sight, and if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Also, having someone that is an accountability partner, that could be your friend or anybody that keeps you on track, and it'll be way harder to actually slack off when somebody's watching. So why is discipline hard in the first place? So it has to do with choosing comfort over discomfort. When we're familiar with our old ways, it becomes way harder to do something new that is out of your comfort zone. And when more effort and time is required, we kind of freak out, and we just kind of back up and go to our comfort zone. So the way to break out of this comfort zone is just starting small. Pick one thing that you can be consistent with every day, and over time, it'll become way easier. So, this is the way that I broke out of that comfort zone that I was in, right? Since I was a huge procrastinator, it was really hard for me to start things. But when I started small, it led me to bigger things and, led me to where I am now. And really, this just shows that anyone is capable of achieving great discipline. And if you just work towards it and you just take action, you can achieve it too. And that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you found my video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.